We are live. I'd like to welcome everyone to our live stream of our new EP. We're going to do a listening party. Welcome, everyone. To get things started, I guess I'll just introduce myself. My name is Jeff, and I do some of the music, and I primarily do vocals in Monody. And I'll let the other guys introduce themselves, but we have a special guest tonight. We have Jim from Distortion Productions with us. And maybe I'll pass it off to you and then pass off to Dave and Dan to introduce themselves too.
Oh, hi guys. I'm Jimmers. I run the Distortion label, and I met these guys a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Well, when was it, guys? Like 2012 or something? 2011. I was putting together Electronic Saviors 2, and we had these guys on that. And
Sounds about right.
yeah, just traded a few emails, but this is actually my first time meeting these guys, you know, face to face, so to speak. So that's my deal, and I'm gonna pass it on to Dan.
Hey, I'm Dan. In Monody, I mostly do the music, and some vocals, and kind of whatever else needs to be done to get things over the line. Dave?
Hi, I'm Dave. I play drums and also write lyrics and help out wherever I can and in making these songs sound the best they can.
And you're also a drumaholic.
Oh yes,
It
yes.
makes me a synthaholic, so
Yeah.
kind of goes with us. Okay.
And I've one of the interesting things is I've switched from playing live drums to actually working with a lot electronic kits. And so you'll notice a difference in some of the newer stuff that we're doing is with an electronic kit. It's very cool, but it still feels and sounds like a real drummer at the same time, which is most important to me.
Well, we're here to talk about a safe place. This is so just a real brief history of Monody. We started in 2006.
Oh.
And worked for about 5 years, playing live around Portland, Oregon, and we then kind of slowly recorded a full-length album that we released in 2011. We kind of had a hiatus for about 10 years, almost 10 years. After that, and once the pandemic hit, we were all like, we need to do music again. So we put together another EP of 5 songs that came out almost exactly a year ago, Subtle Descent. And then we've been just kind of on a roll since, and we're continuing even to this day to develop and write tracks. But we're trying to release them relatively often. That's why we haven't been releasing full albums. So we got another batch of 4 songs here, 4 original songs, and plus a remix that we're going to listen to tonight. Jim, any other things you want to talk about
Well,
the album?
yes. This comes out Friday, guys. So, and Friday happens to be Bandcamp Day, which is when they waive all of the fees and stuff. So it's the most profitable system for artists at this point. So please check out Monody's Bandcamp and the Safe Place EP on Friday. You're going to hear some awesome stuff tonight. I am so proud of this release. If you guys heard the Subtle Descent EP, there's a cover of the Boxer on there that is just breathtaking. And I can't say enough good things about these guys. So I'm going to ask a series of questions because there's a lot I'd like to know about your process, how you guys met, what you guys do when you're not doing music, and such. But why don't we get started with one of these tracks? So Jeff, go ahead and pick one.
So yeah, we were just gonna go through in order, and the title track being A Safe Place. One thing I want to mention just for everybody before I get started though is that there will be a giveaway, and we're going to give away 5 free Bandcamp codes for this EP after we've played all the songs. In order to win those codes, you have to subscribe to our channel and comment at least once. And we would prefer your comment be a question for us, but it doesn't have to be. So if you do those 2 things, you are in the running for a free copy of A Safe Place. So, are we ready to play the song? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. This is A Safe Place.
I can hear those bells again.
Yes.
You guys reading the chat?
Awesome, guys. Great work.
Thank you.
You.
Yeah, thanks.
So I want to ask you guys, like, how did you all meet?
I think that's maybe my fault.
I met Dan like in the '90s, and Dan and I, we played rock music together for a while.
I moved into his town
Yeah.
as I was moving up from Southern Oregon to the Upper Valley, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get to know people who around here is a musician, and I was introduced to Jeff, and turns out we had a lot in common, and we started making noise pretty much right off the bat. And then I moved further north, and I eventually moved to the same town where Dave was, and he has a rich legacy, dating back to the 80s and 90s.
Was I in Glen
Portland.
or was I in Farah? When
I can't remember, but I'm like, okay, find solid drummer that understands rhythm, and ooh. Can he play live? Yes, he likes playing live. He likes electronic music and industrial music. You checked all the boxes. So we quickly became friends, the three of us, and had to do something musically.
But I remember being invited over to your house, and you actually were playing. You were working with some electronics and synths and stuff. And it was a first part of your conduit process, I think.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, I was like. And I remember I filed that. And so we came back together probably later, because I was still in the Portland rock scene in different styles from the English, stuff to I got into the goth scene and was doing a lot of goth and then switched. And then after that, then I got back with him.
Yeah, and Dave, you were in some bands that actually got some Portland radio play too, right?
Yeah, well, that was Written in Ashes.
And Farah Phosphate.
Oh, that's right, in Farah, yeah. So, but yeah. You know how about it's all Spinal Tap.
Dave, it looks really cold where you're at.
It's cold in this garage, that's for sure. But that's part of the picture on the EP, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I love the idea of that title, that song, A Safe Place, and then where it was positioned. Isn't that kind of metaphor for some of the, how people feel, where they feel safest could be the most isolated place. That's kind of it's really in this music, the lyrics and the music of this little EP.
Something different about this EP we were chatting about ahead of time. It's like, well, we're kind of finding newer, more efficient ways to work and more expressive ways to work, and just trying different things now than we used to do. So we're trading writing responsibilities, writing lyrics and things like that based upon different concepts and trading that around. And this EP, I think, was probably an inflection point for us of trying different things. And this particular song was kind of amalgam of a few things going on. It kind of, with all the bad news we're faced with, we got to find new ways to cope with things is kind of the concept I had in mind while working on this one. We all have to kind of grit up and find hopefully healthy coping mechanisms. But there's a lot of people out there suffering in silence with things like mental illness that goes undetected many times. And the point is, everybody's dealing with something, whether you know it or not. And this song is essentially a celebration of those that keep things together because they found their safe place to process things or recharge and regroup and trudge on. And that kind of sets the tone for the EP.
Jeff, somebody asked where the artwork came from.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that. The artwork was, I think it was my concept, just something I had kind of envisioned. I had envisioned this, the person, the subject, maybe who might be singing the song, in this cage. They found their safe place, but they're also isolated. So it's kind of an irony, either in a field or something snowy. And then we passed that concept off. Actually used some AI generating tools to kind of like put that into a picture, and I sent it off to Vlad McNeely, who does all of our album art. And
Callisti Design.
Yeah, Callisti's Design. He's amazing. And I said, hey, can you come up with something that's kind of like this? Like, we didn't want to use the AI thing, but other than just like, here's my idea. And this is what he came up with. And it was amazing.
It was like, keep it. Yeah.
Going back to what Dan was saying about mental illness, I just, want to say that I appreciate that. Winter is coming up, and that's a tough time for a lot of people, myself included, get real depressed during the January, February, March months, and that seasonal affective disorder. And,
Right.
and a lot of people have that. And I think that this song really speaks to, speaks volumes when it comes to, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to say I really appreciate the message in there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, of course. So that was called A Safe Place, off the EP of the same name. And guys, it comes out Friday on Bandcamp and streaming services everywhere. But I want to encourage you that if you are going to pick this up, to please buy from the artist Bandcamp, because it is Bandcamp Friday after all, and that is all the fees are waived, and Bandcamp is I believe, if you're buying digital, to is the best way to support an artist.
Thanks for that, Jim.
So, yeah, of course. So you want to talk about the next song, Jeff?
Yeah. So I think this next song, it's called "I'm Built on Tears," and this might be Dan's debut as the primary vocalist for us. This is the first.
So yeah,
it won't be the last, but it's this his first song, at least in Monody, that we're releasing him as the primary vocalist. But yeah, there's a few more in the pipeline that you'll get to hear his vocals on, and it's just a beautiful song. But maybe we'll talk about it after. Anything else you want to say before we play it, guys?
Nope. Go ahead.
All right.
See you at the end.
All right. This is Built on Tears.
Just one more encounter here. Is it safe, or will it prove to be painful? And is it worse to be apart or to be marked disdainful? built on tears from an early day for an early grave. Though not alone, this confusion is desperation. That desperate call, a panic, a sickness, a complication. Seeking placation, the only savior in your situation. And carried away, what lines have I succumbed to exchange emotional prison. I'm pulling away to protect a fragile situation. What lies have I succumbed to exchange emotional prison? I'm pulling away to protect a fragile situation. Built on tears from an early day for an early grave.
They say winter pays for summer, and it did. But winter came again too quickly as the old man blew in with an icy gambit to slam the door. Tears at me, searching for weaker seams. Will this season be too long as it breeds a new collection of mournful songs? Excuses made and trust eroded in heartbreak and treachery, while the night on his tour makes a mockery, makes me cruel, makes me spiteful.
And there's a ballad.
Excellent, excellent. That had almost, especially in that outro, kind of a Tangerine Dream kind of feel.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few things going on there. It's really gutsy or foolish to slow down a release on the second song that much. But, you know,
I think it
needed to be done.
Fantastic, fantastic work. How did you guys, like, you had this you have Jeff from Tenek and the billion other projects, the 9, Alien 613. I can go on and on about the stuff that Jeff has done. I'm a huge fan of his, and I did meet him once in person on a Mesh tour that he was on over here in the States. Awesome guy, and we put out 10X last record on Distortion, and so when I heard he was involved, it just brought a smile to my face. So, like, how did you guys meet Jeff?
We reached out to him. We really
Cold.
we love the sound of Tenek. Like that's
Yeah.
it's just so precise and deep and beautiful. And so we were just really impressed, and saw that he was advertising himself on his own website that he does this kind of work, and we just reached out.
Yeah.
That's great.
And he responded, and we found out that we were label mates, and we were like, wow, that was kind of like in our pitch. We're like, hey, we're one of your label mates, so hey.
I don't like that. I mean, they were one of the first bands that I ever looked at signing, because I was such a huge fanboy back then, and I was like, what 2014 maybe was that album, because I remember listening to their last album on my porch during the summer with some friends, and I was like, man, if I ever had a label, I would like kill to release something by these guys, and it actually happened. And they've also been involved with the Electronic Saviors, so I really love Jeff and Pete a lot. I think they're great, and I think that it's wonderful that he's involved with this.
I agree, and I think we owe listeners a little bit of context. Jeff Pinkney is from a band called Tenek. He has mixed, I think, is it 4 of the songs on this EP?
Yes.
And we continue to work with him. Great, he has such a musical ear. He is in Great Britain, so obviously he's in the future already. So that helps too in collaborating with him. That's a bonus, and he's great to work with, and he just he adds a lot to our tracks when we send him over.
We give him freedom.
Yeah, and he takes it. It's fantastic. The only problem we have with him is we have a Jeff already, and it's Jeff with a G. So we have to say Jeff T or Jeff P when we're talking about it. No, he's absolutely great to work with, and we love the relationship we have with him, and hope we can continue that indeterminately.
Yes, please. Like any, and I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I mean, having him sing on one of your tracks would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because his voice is, oh man, it's so awesome. Like, in fact, if I were to, come up with an idea on the spot and put all of you guys on the spot and put Jeff from Tenek on the spot, I don't know if he's in here, if he's watching, but we got a thing called Electronic Saviors Volume 7 coming up in 2025. And I'm going to sort of open the submissions for that, and I mean, I'm assuming I should never assume anything, but of course you guys know that you're invited to participate in that. That release, and would be really cool to have, at the very least him mix a new track from you guys for that project. But hey, Jeff, you could sing on it too.
I agree. Actually, he's such a modest guy. This is about a year ago this time, I met up with Reagan Jones, formerly of Iris, and he mentioned they had a long tour together, Tenek and Iris. And Reagan had such wonderful things to say about Jeff. Like, they were fantastic live in terms of vocals. Like, they would dual layer their vocals. And I had no idea that that was another one of his gifts. So that's definitely a great idea, Jim. And I smell something cooking.
Yeah, baby. I got to do it. I think it's great. I mean, all you guys, like, the way I look at collaborations, and something that I sort of try to foster the most at Distortions. One of the things that I try to encourage my bands to do is cross-pollinate. And work with each other, because I kind of feel like there's not a lot of that going on, in the scene, and I think that more people should work with each other and either remix each other, sing on each other's tracks. There should be more of a familial aspect. We're such a small scene to begin with,
Yeah.
and I think it would be really cool, to collaborate. And it's like I've always sort of been a proponent of collaboration, and down to even jumping up on stage and doing a song. Like next week we're playing down in Philadelphia, and I invited Chris from Centrifuge to come up and do our closer with us.
Nice.
I because that's the kind of stuff I want to, I love working with people and individuals, and so I just try to foster that amongst my bands. So, and you guys are no exception to that. I'm already very, very proud of what you're doing. And, this being your second EP for the label, I got to ask, because Jeff's the one that reached out to sign with us. So, I don't know if this was just based on our previous history with Electronic Saviors, but Jeff, why did you come to Distortion for a label?
It was mainly based off the good experience that I had with you with Electronic Saviors, and basically the reputation that you have is stellar in the community. I mean, really, everybody raves about you, and
that's not true. That's not true.
Everybody we've talked to so far.
Everyone we've talked to.
So cash it in, man.
We released on a different label on our first album, and that experience, I'm not going to trash anybody or anything, but it left some things to be desired, and we just didn't want to repeat what happened there, and just we have no delusions of grandeur that we're gonna sell 1 million records or anything like that. We just want to work with somebody who loves music and loves the scene and believes in what we're doing, and that seemed to be you.
Well, you're in the right place. I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. That's very nice of you. But I do, as frustrating as it can be sometimes, in this small scene, I really do appreciate you guys and the work that you do, and I know that a lot of the other bands on the label feel the same way about having you guys on board with us in our family, and so with that being said, thank you for all of that. That's very nice to hear. We'll go with the next song. So do you want to say a little bit of something about the next song? And then I want to get into sort of how you guys, especially your lyricists, and like whether you're writing the lyrics or Dave, like how you guys find inspiration to write what you write. I would really like to have some insight into that.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
One interesting thing about this next song is this next song actually was part of the first song in its original form. It was two parts. Musically, it was two parts, and we just could not make it work. And it felt like forced, square peg in a circle.
It felt like two songs.
And then all of a sudden somebody said, well, I think it was Dan that said, let's split them. And this is what happened. Now, this song was mixed and mastered by Christian.
Is this the one that he mixed?
This is the one he mixed and mastered. So this is a little bit different from the other songs.
Yeah, and
that's Christian from Rotterdam, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, also one of our
awesome.
heroes.
Big fan. Yep.
Absolutely.
Never got to see them live, so I'm hoping someday.
Oh, okay.
They were good.
I hear they're amazing. So
Yes.
Yeah,
that's great. That and also there's a remix that he did on this EP that's coming up as track 5. So
Yes.
Cool. Well, let's hear this one.
All right. This is Scars Earned. And if you haven't noticed, the lyrics are on the video. You can follow along. So here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about this. Like, first, like, how did you guys get hooked up with? Do you say his name Krishan or Christian? Does he go by both?
I don't
I've
know.
I've I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Oh, maybe we've been pronouncing it wrong.
Well,
So you guys got hooked up with him from the band Rotterdam, who is amazing. But
yeah.
did you guys just like write him, connect with him, or have you been friends with him for a while?
I think that was another straight cold contact,
Yeah,
wasn't it, Jeff?
I think it was.
You reached out, and there's been some folks just good enough to respond, and
Yeah.
We have a
it's not
list.
always the case. Not always the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a list of ones that there's what we like, what they do, and it's like, would they be would they appreciate what we're doing? Would they be able to move it to a different area? And so we've reached out to different ones, and he was one that actually,
I think
Jeff
it was
reached out to-
honestly Facebook Messenger.
yeah,
Like I think that's how
Yeah.
how I contacted him.
They say never meet your heroes, but we've had great experiences so far, so we're gonna keep trying it, right?
yeah.
But literally, yeah, Jeff reached out, and absolute professional, and very articulate in what he does, and my goodness, he is prolific. He's involved with so many projects we all love,
Yeah.
and he's always working. So just being able to get on his radar of things to deliver can be challenging, but it's worth it.
That's excellent. Like, I love hearing that. And now when you guys are writing lyrics about, it's never normally happy stuff.
No,
But
we haven't found that. We've got some down the pipeline lyrics like that I wrote that maybe will be happy, but that's metaphor. That's what you think is happy can also come off very sad.
sure, yeah, or have a somber tone to it. Like,
Sure.
what do you guys write when you're having a bad day, you're upset about something, or
Well, that's usually when we get together and work together. It usually happens like that.
Well, so
This song, the lyrics on this song was tough. It took us a couple walkthroughs to get what we wanted, and we struggled. There was some not happy people.
sure.
so we should kind of go back. So like when we did Of Iron and Clay, that was pretty much all of my stuff, all the stuff I was feeling, and that's somebody in the chat even said that, like, they thought it felt like a concept album, and that it kind of is, because there's running themes that go through a lot of those tracks, even though they are a little bit vague. But when we got to Subtle Descent, I had a couple things I wanted to say very passionately, but I just don't have as deep of a well of things to say as I used to. And so a lot of these more recent songs are the three of us. There's a couple that are just me, there's a couple that are just Dan, and there's some that are Dave almost entirely now, and like and some of it's a combination. And this one, the one that we just heard, is a combination. It was a concept of mine, something I felt very passionately about, but I couldn't get it out completely in words, so I had to enlist these guys' help to like fill in some of the gaps. And we kind of hit some walls, as Dave kind of mentioned before, and worked through that. So
We went to a bar and had a few drinks and finished up the bridge that way.
yeah.
It was that kind of a song where we wanted to move forward with it, and it was it was fun.
Sometimes you just need to get out of your own way and change venues to restrike inspiration. Did you see also we have a question that's been unanswered, kind of related to this? Should we work that in?
Yeah, go for it.
About the influences?
Yeah. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, so BT Barons asked, who do you draw your inspiration from, and can you name people or bands other than the normal stalwarts that dominate these conversations. So that's
Yeah.
that kind of
Wow, that's
makes it a little harder.
great question. Did BT Barons win anything on that one? Does it depend on our answer?
We'll do our best.
Who's your
I guess
inspiration, Jim?
I'll go first if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, right. Let's just call it out. There's the stuff we cut our teeth on, the Depeche, the Cure, all that other fun stuff. But I think as we've traveled, I've personally have found inspiration in lyrics from other genres that I didn't really expect to find inspiration from. So even like old timey stuff, or even dare I say, country music might have something that has this heart tugging message in it. A particular tune, right? That I might find on a deep track from the 70s from a particular artist. So it can come from anywhere in terms of prior art, right? But for the most part, and I guess I would probably put that in a box called tone and feel. But for the most part, we take inspiration from things we've experienced, things that everyone's currently experiencing, or things we might experience, kind of looking ahead, taking a future long view on things and putting an opinion or stamp on that. So I'm not sure I'm answering the question, but we take inspiration from a lot of places, but what we're inspired to talk about might be very different from that. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say.
You're
Jeff,
such a politician.
I'm out.
So who are your musical inspirations? I didn't get any there, Dave.
I
Come on, say
I
'em.
find lyrical
Seabound.
inspiration from
Seabound. All right.
Seabound.
Lyrically or feel, Dave?
Feel musically, I think. See,
Okay.
and lyrically though,
Yeah.
and phrase-wise, the way he phrases.
Thank you for saying Seabound, because I love them too, and I think it's a travesty that Frank doesn't do more material.
Yes.
I don't know what the boy is doing. If you ever see this, Frank, we miss you and we want you to do more stuff.
We do. Probably the day job. The day job is a
Yeah.
killer. We're worth it.
All right,
Yeah,
Jeff.
So I'll give you a few that are not anywhere near this genre.
Wow.
Metallica.
That doesn't really come through in your music.
Yeah.
Imogen Heap.
That's a good one.
And I will say, oh man, Alice in Chains.
That's great. I love it. Yes, Alice in Chains. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Like the reason I'm so happy about that is like
Jeff's our grunge guy.
No, not just Jeff. Yeah.
I just, it's fantastic. Like I love, I was young whenever Alice in Chains was new. I was in high school, so like that stuff all hit me at the right age.
Yep.
And so that's awesome that you have that as an influence. I mean, people don't have to be influenced by the music the style that they make, of course. I mean, it's, I listen to way less Skinny Puppy and listen to more Dinosaur Jr. than anything else. Like, when people would be listening to my music and wouldn't you think that I would love Jay Mascis guitar playing, but it brings a different, I would say, angle to what you're doing. And I really like to hear that. So yeah, I appreciate those answers, you guys.
I didn't give an answer. I besides Robert Smith, which is the obvious answer. I'm going to throw you for a curve, and I'm going to say Glenn Phillips from Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Okay,
it's a weird place to pull from. And the funny thing, name dropping again, when I got to meet Reagan, turns out he's a huge Glenn Phillips fan. He's got very accessible and just plucks those heartstrings in terms of what he's talking about lyrically and bringing over the feelings without using his his language and necessarily his pace and things like that is a challenge not to do. So, Dave, now you have to throw
Okay. All right. I'll go with Joy Division, Sisters of Mercy,
Oh,
Peter Murphy, yeah, Bauhaus. And then ultimately everything comes back to, and they'll hear it a million times, what would Queen do?
what would Queen do?
How would they write the song? What would they do to it to stand it on its head? Because Queen went from every genre, even EBM, electronic, Radio Gaga to the Machines song on The Works is early electronic. Well, Hot Space, they attempted very badly to do it with that album. So anyway, that's my musical background.
There you go.
Thank you guys for sharing that with us. We have one more original song, the fourth song on the EP to go, and then a remix that Christian from Rotor Sand, or Krishan, however he pronounces it, did a remix for you guys. It's every time he does a remix for a band, they always title it the Rotor Sand Rework. Like that's a tradition with remixes that I see that he does. But is there anything in particular you want to say about this next track?
I think this next one is lyrically is more Dave's baby than anything.
I think so. This was your debut. I mean, Jeff, we usually all have our hands somehow in the pie on every song, but this was kind of Dave's thing, and we kind of just helped with the polish and the rhythm. Sometimes we start with a song first, sometimes we start with lyrics. So this might have been just kind of fitting it into place and helping Dave kind of flourish into something he really wanted to do, and is just now coming out in his ability to write lyrics. So we were definitely second chair in that.
This song deals with two different subjects combined. One is mental health and watching somebody that dealing with it. And then it also deals with relationships and how you're trying to tell another person that I'm not giving up on you. Don't give up on me. So there's a lot of metaphor in the lyrics about that. And I don't know how it stumbled. It started off as one thing, and then the mind and concept evolved in the other thing. And it was like, wow. And the guy said, let's go for it. Let's do it.
All right. Well, with that, this is The Lines.
It's a cold day in your heart. Look at me now, the pain's in my face. You swore to be something real. If you'd only trust me and feel, see the lines drawn by you. They are not misplaced. I would not erase. Everything around you is displaced. Confidence
Yes. So if anyone is joining late, this is the release party for Monody's A Safe Place EP. It comes out Friday on Distortion Productions, and I encourage people to pick it up from Bandcamp because it is Bandcamp Friday coming up.
Yes,
So, what is the story behind that one, you guys?
It was a really cool drum or pattern that Dan had with that pulse at the beginning, and we were like, I want to do something with that, and so it was like, okay, what lyrics do we have? And it just progressed from there, and then evolved into that.
Yeah, this might have been one where the music and lyrics started at different times, kind of in parallel, right?
Yeah.
So David started out like as prose or poetry and went and wrote that as a concept to expand upon. And I was probably on a campaign to probably launch as many demos as I could in a short period of time, musically, things that I liked musically. And a lot of things hit the floor. And this is one that Dave says, that's my song. And so we made it up, I think a straw man of your lyrical concept to it, and then it just developed from there.
Yeah, and I think we workshopped like those lyrics a lot. I think we massaged it into working with this particular track. We knew we wanted to make it fit, but I think the original draft of the lyrics just couldn't be syncopated to that exactly, and so we just kind of kept the same idea, but.
One of the things I get to do is a lot of times we'll write these songs and they'll be raw with just a drum, electronic drum track click, and it's laid out. And then I get to go over the top of it with drums. And I always say I want to do drums after a song is almost complete so that I can hear lyrically, this is where a fill can work. This is where a fill shouldn't be. And especially in this EBM concept is like trying to expand that without overplaying, but at the same time giving it kind of a more human feel than sometimes how some of it is all linear, two-dimensional. It's like trying to give it a third dimension without not Neil Pearted, type of drumming.
Well, EBM. And I think we take different slices at it. So Dave will bring in a concept and an idea. Jeff will say, you'll work on kind of making sure that it says something and there's continuity and flow and, some of the grammatical things might be in Jeff's past, right? And then I'll come and like, well, I kind of don't really, sorry, Dave, may not care at the moment what it's saying, but I'm just trying to fit it into the meter of the song. I'm trying to get it to flow. I'm working more on trying to lay out the syllables. So we want to say something, but it also has to fit rhythmically in what we're trying to do. So we kind of bring these different skill sets to the table when collaborating on lyrics in that kind of operating mode that we did on this song, like the lines.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, so I want to talk a little bit about some of the people in chat might not know this, but can you explain to the chat and the world, because they're all watching too in the future, like why hasn't anyone seen you live yet?
They have if they were in Portland in 15 years ago.
2012.
Sometime between 2010 and 2012, maybe 2000.
We do have some videos out there that we don't have the rights to them anymore.
Yeah, but that's a long story.
Yeah.
But you guys are kind of scattered.
Yeah. So I guess what you're getting at is that we live on opposite coasts.
Yes.
I live on the East Coast with you, Jim. Not too far, not terribly far from you, up in New York, and then
I keep Jeff in my basement, actually.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
If only. And then these guys are on on the best coast. I mean, the West Coast and Portland. I miss I miss the weather out there.
It is challenging. The funny thing about where we're at now as a band, I really think we took for granted all the years. Well, obviously we did, where we were nearly in the same zip code, and we didn't collaborate as much in real time as we would want to now. So we're trying to do as much as we can remotely, but we still value times where we get together.
Of course.
Jeff will come out probably a couple or a few times a year, and we get together as a band, and we write, we create music, we record, we mix, we do whatever we can to maximize our use of the time from that point of view. And I guess our process, it has changed, and it's had to as a result. So all the songs, I think, leading up into or culminating into Of Iron and Clay, we were bashing out in Dave's basement as a group, as a band, doing it old school and just kind of knocking songs out differently. So we were already playing those songs live before we went out to play in front of audiences. Now, fast forward to Subtle Descent, and now with this release and beyond, we really would have to think, since we've kind of approached things very differently and started in the studio. It
would take us a month.
I think it's an interesting and a peaceful challenge to put it together live, but we're starting from a different point of view or a different point in the workflow than where we did 10 years ago when we started of Iron and Clay. Not that it can't happen. Logistics aside, we would have to construct what that live performance of these different sounds are. But I see that as a challenge. That could be an incredible thing to do, a lot of fun, trying to say, okay, this is what we did in the studio. What can we get away with live? Because we were always a fan of trying to be as busy as we could individually on a stage to entertain the audience, rather than just being, I'm going to hit play on a laptop and just hand clap for the rest of the night. You know who you are.
No,
we never wanted to do that. So it could be kind of fun to put together, a studio-oriented album or series of releases into a live show that we haven't before. And I think that sounds very appealing and kind of a fun thing to wrap my head around.
I look forward to it.
To be honest, though, one thing that I tell the boys, I played live for 25 years. Money is involved too. And if I'm going to play live, I want to get paid. And it's real hard these days sometimes to get paid. So that is an honest fact, involved. I'm not going to go and play a show for $100.
We would be approaching the scene after a few very big things have happened while we were on hiatus, if you will. The entire industry has changed. The number of venues, post-COVID even, that dynamic has changed as well. So it's definitely going to be a different experience out there when we play these lives to folks. But we know the stalwarts and the dedicated will be out there to support us. So that would kind of drive that sort of mission to embark on taking these songs live and to really connect with that audience again. We really love that.
Yeah, that's excellent. And hey, Dave, if I ever book Seabound again here in Pittsburgh, you guys have a guaranteed opening slot for them.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Absolutely.
If you can just get Martin to actually, be involved in Seabound again.
Yeah, I don't never say never, I guess. Yeah. But okay, we are going to head into the home stretch here with this last track. And then I want to talk about what you guys do when you're not doing music.
Yeah, sounds good. Before we start that, though, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it now. and leave a comment, because you will be in the running for a free code for this EP, A Safe Place, which comes out on Friday. So if you want that, subscribe, leave a comment, and after we play this song at some point, we will pull some names. All right. Let's now listen to Rotor Sand's rework of A Safe Place. All right, so apparently the audio was not coming through on the stream. So let me figure that out one second.
I have to say, though, does someone saying I can't hear anything, does that count as a contest entry to win the EP?
It may.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to click on it again, and it's probably going to play, but hang on just a second. All right, I found the problem. Here we go again.
And keeping time, the final chance, erase the sin beyond all saving faith. Right now, this is a place where sanity's plea, rationality and love will find a safe place. a sin beyond all saving face. Right now, this is a place where sanity's plead, rationality and love will find a safe place. We'll 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 find a safe place.
Dan, do you have a Lego DeLorean back there?
I do.
That's awesome.
Good eye. It has not even been opened. So, yeah.
Oh, you got work to do.
I know. I need to watch the trilogy and start building, don't I?
So that is it. That is A Safe Place by Monody, and it comes out Friday,
Hey,
12/1. Great way to kick off the month of December with a Bandcamp Friday and an excellent release. Thank you guys so much for sharing this with everybody.
Thank you, Jim.
I think this was absolutely wonderful to get to spend some time with y'all. And before we go, what do you guys do when you're not doing music? Hobbies, etc. Well, I think we know Dan's because he's got Legos back
Lego.
there. Yeah.
I already got my gimme. Go on, guys. Dave, what do you do?
what are my hobbies? My hobbies are drums. And,
When you're not, yeah.
hobbies.
Did not understand the question.
No, I was thinking it's like I don't want to sound boring, but I'm a sports into
Sports guy. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
no. You are an amateur vintner.
Oh, I forget about my. That's right.
Exactly.
I discovered during COVID, when we were all stuck in our houses, what something to do is I discovered wine, and I've started making wine.
Oh, that's awesome. So there you go. That's awesome.
And I've continued with it actually. And so I ordered buckets of legitimate grapes from California and go through the process. I'm trying to nail a finer, better wine than some of my first. Some of my first stuff's not good.
Yeah. Never settle for illegitimate grapes, right, Dave?
Yeah, exactly.
What does that even mean? That's funny.
But yeah, that's definitely one of my hobbies. But I'm a home person, homebody, and just try to stay out of trouble these days.
Like I wear my nerd heart on my sleeve. Like I'm a comic book and action figure guy. So that's what I do when I'm not doing music stuff.
Comic-Con is what are your activities, I would assume?
I don't go to San Diego. I went there once, and it was in 2006 when I think that was the year that Iron Man was first announced. That like Favreau and those guys had a panel that they announced it,
and
that year.
It went nuts after that, right?
Yeah, well, it came out in 2008, so it took 2 years from their announcement to put it out in theaters, and then that was the beginning of it all. So I asked my buddies who went there, who I went there with, my buddies Todd and Dave, and I was just like, why didn't we go to the Iron Man panel? I was like, that was the one we were at. Why didn't we go? And Dave was like, the line was ridiculous. It would have taken us all day to get in there. And I was just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So how about you, Jeff?
I have many hobbies.
He's a bicycle rider.
Yeah.
Avid.
Avid. Since the pandemic, especially, I've been really into bicycles, and just riding multiple times a week. I think you ride too, don't you, Jim?
I have a stationary,
Oh, you have a station.
and that is primarily to keep the dad bod away.
Yeah.
Because at 47, it's kind of hard to keep that away, and it's primarily for health reasons and to stay fit.
Same.
So obviously, Jeff, you're like probably, if you're going out a few times a week on an actual bike, you're probably in a lot better shape than most of us.
I don't know. The winter is tough, especially in the Northeast. So
yeah.
But I also play Rocket League a fair bit.
I don't know what that is.
It's a video game. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's a competitive video game.
PC or
there's
console?
a whole esports scene and everything.
Okay.
I think it's on all the things.
It's all platforms.
All platforms.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I wanted to let you guys know that Saphira V, our lovely, one of the lovely artists that we have on Distortion, has uploaded your video to the Distortion YouTube. So it is up there. She runs the site for us. So
Very cool.
I just wanted to let you know. Now, as far as the codes, the Bandcamp codes,
yes.
I didn't send those to you guys, right? I still have to send those over to you.
Correct. We don't have them in our possession as of yet.
I will send those to you as soon as this is over, so you could get them out to these awesome people.
Yeah. So are we ready to announce some winners?
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of Saphira, she actually is on our list.
She's getting a code anyways.
Yeah. So
because she has a radio show called Situation 47.
That's right.
Which if you guys are ever willing to do interviews, I'm sure she would be happy to have you.
We did one after Subtle Descent with her, and that was awesome.
That's right. You guys did. Yes.
Yeah, we'd be willing to do it again.
Yeah, we would. That'd be great.
I'm gonna send a code over to them. So
cool.
They're getting one already.
All right. So we got 4 more. And then if your username is called, I just ask that you email us at Monody at monodyweb.com. I can put the address in the chat here in a second. And then just put your YouTube username in there. Miggy B, MIGGYB, you are a winner.
Yay!
Marcy Molesky.
Yay! I like Marcy's awesome. She's a friend of mine.
All right. She
commented a lot.
Shenzhen 2112. Maybe a Rush fan.
Our Darkway Princess.
Yeah.
And then Daryl Zapfi.
Must still be awake to win.
You just have to have commented. That's all.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
And then you have until I think I put 72 hours from now to send us an email, and then we will send you the code. And we hope you enjoy.
I've got a real quick one here for you guys. This there was someone in the chat, Filian, I think, asked what kind of synths you guys use.
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness.
Which ones do we not use might be a better.
Okay, so in the context,
Inside joke.
take for this release, we made use of so I think we use a combination of plugins just for convenience, and they're so good now, and frankly, sometimes we get lazy and we don't want to be tripped up on trying to find the right synth for a song, and we just want to write a song. So we use a good number of plugins, but we've been using probably the Dave Smith Prophet Analog Polysynth. On Scars Earned, you can hear Jeff Tripoli tweaking the knobs of a Moog Sub 37 over here at the very beginning. It sounds like an airplane that kind of devolves
the
down.
whole intro is that.
Yeah, it devolves kind of into the ARP at the beginning. You can't see it. I'm sorry. It's just out of sight here. But so a combination of plug-in stuff by a number of, too many manufacturers to list. We have too many plugins. But also some hardware synths. We've also done some modular things. Modular things. Am I pointing right?
Yep.
Lately, with all the wires crossed over. It's kind of fun in that you can't really save anything afterwards. So if you like something you hear, you better record it. So that's a fun way to give birth to a new demo idea. So it really varies, but that's just kind of a quick sampling of, I think, the most notable characters in the Safe Place EP. Great question, though. Thanks for asking it.
Yeah, I think you also use pretty regularly a lot of the Arturia software synths, right?
Plugin wise, yeah. It's funny though. It's the reproductions of old like 80s analog synths are so good. You like, we've regretted having to get rid of gear over the years just for space sake, and they might have been in disrepair, whatever reason, right? But it's kind of fun to re-enjoy those again in their plug-in form, in a very stable form, and kind of re-include them in music. So it's a great time to make music if you can. And yes, we use a lot of the Arturia plugins.
Yeah,
and you have them now too, Jeff.
Yeah, and one of the ones I like to use a lot is I don't know how you say it, but Uhe, U-He, Zebra. I love Zebra. It's one of my faves.
Zebra.
Yeah.
So it just depends on where we are and what we're doing with the release, right? We try to. It feels good to have the tactile synth elements and work those in. In our next release, we don't know if that's going to be an EP or part of a larger album. We're using some older synths like the Pulse and the old school Virus, like we used to use live, and part of the Iron of Clay era. So we're going to shake things up a little bit with the next release. So hope you enjoy that one as well. Whatever form it takes, we're still deciding how to release that.
Well, however you guys want to release it, let me know, and I got you. I got you on that.
You'll be the first. You'll be the first to know.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, thanks so much. It was awesome hanging out. Thanks for everybody who joined us tonight.
Yeah.
A Safe Place drops this Friday, so please pick it up. You heard the whole thing tonight, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And thanks to the boys here for Dan, Jeff, and Dave. Thanks so much for spending your Wednesday night with me, and yeah, keep up the great work, you guys, and I look forward to hearing the next one.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thanks for joining
Jim.
us, Jim.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Quick shout to Jeff's partner behind the scenes, Valine, that's doing all the other things to make things flow smoothly and happen. We appreciate everything that goes into a stream like this.
Yeah. And also many thanks to Jeff Pinkney and Christian of Rotor Sand. Thank you so much for making it sound the way it does. We are very happy with it and couldn't do it without everyone. So
excellent.
All right.
Well, keep it up, you guys, and let's have an awesome Bandcamp Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds
So
good.
let's do this again.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, definitely. Okay. All right, boys. Have a good night and see everybody.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
See ya.
Bye-bye.